Good afternoon, America. It is 1845, and this is March 21st, 2024. I'm going to read a couple of excerpts from the Torah in Genesis 24, and I'm also going to go to the New King James Version, and because there's a consistency, a relevance in the wording of the word, and that's because it's been translated so many times throughout the ages. I'm going to read from the Torah in the English version. Now, I don't know what the Hebrew version says, but I'm going to try to decipher this as best I can. Now, I'm going to read from Genesis 24, and this is relationship with Israel and the Gazan peoples. Now, we all know that before Israel was a nation, and there were Hebrews in Israel, the land was Canaanite. It was basically Canaanite tribes which dwelt in that land. So I'm going to read Genesis 24. Abraham was now old, advanced in years, and the Lord had blessed Abraham in all things. And Abraham said to the senior servant of his household, who had charge of all that he owned, "Put your hand under my thigh, and I will make you swear by the Lord, the God of heaven and the God of the earth, that you will not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites among whom I dwell, but will go to the land of my birth and get a wife for my son Isaac." And the servant said to him, "What if the woman does not consent to follow me to this land? Shall I then take your son back to the land from which you came?" Abraham answered him, "Oh no, account must you take from my father's house. Oh no, no account must you take my son back there. The Lord, the God of heaven, who took me from my father's house and from my native land, who promised me an oath, saying, 'I will assign this land to your offspring.'" Now, in the other version, it says here, "To your descendants I give this land. He will send his angel before you, and you shall take a wife for my son from there." You see, that's what's contradicting this conflict between two nations, two peoples. The tribes of Ishmael, which came from Hagar and Abraham, and the tribes of Isaac, who came from Sarai and Abraham. But note this, they both came from the same father. So that makes them half brothers. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? There is a contradiction. Remember this saying in the word. It says, "You shall crush his head with your foot, with your heel, and you shall bite his heel." That is the prophecy that was given to both the sons of Ishmael and Isaac. And they have been fighting ever since. They have been in conflict ever since. So there must be some type of an agreement, a sit down, I would say, like they say in New York. You sit down, both people's leaders, and have a talk, communicative talk. This is not about land or properties, it's about religion, it's about culture. And if they talk, they say it's about land, then someone is lying. Because then, like I've said, the land was given to Abraham. It was not given directly to either Ishmael or Isaac. It was given to Abraham, to his offspring. In other words, his offspring. Who were his offspring? Ishmael and Isaac. Does that make any sense? And so the misinterpretation came in which both peoples believe that the land is theirs. So there has to be a type of agreement, a sit-down talk, mediated by someone with enough brains and intelligence to know the difference. Don't politicize it. Don't take sides on it. Have them sit down at a table, talk their differences, and make amends. That is what needs to be done. For both people come from the same Father. Now I understand that they want to make a two-state nation. And that can be done too. Build a temple on one side and the mosque on the other. But then you have some morons, excuse the language, who want to create three. One for Catholics, one for Jews, the other for the Muslims. So you have three temples in one area, one spot. Make it a two-state territorial where both can thrive and live. Now you have the Rothschilds who own basically Jerusalem, as they do Mecca and they do the Vatican in Washington, D.C. Now this man, I wish I could just sit down with him and talk a little bit. What they need to do is basically go to their properties like you would a backyard and fix it. Don't send some schmuck who thinks he's a god and try to destroy another nation. Have them both sit down, face to face, both nations, the Israelis and the Arabs together, and have a talk. Simple as that. I saw Clinton at one time in the past where he had Yasser Arafat and the leader of Israel, have them both shake hands. Though the one did not want, I think Yitzhak Rabin, wanted to shake hands with Yasser Arafat, but he didn't want to, because there was so much animosity. When it's so easy to come together and shake hands and look at each other in the eyes. So let's do this for our people. Let's do this for our children. I would love to see an Arab child and an Israeli child holding hands, going to school together. Think about that. And those in Israel who abhor and they love to hate, that is not your way. That is not God's way. But God said that He loves all His children. Now you may look at me strange. I'm a simple man. I'm just talking to you and giving you advice. But if you don't take advice, your nation will blow up and be destroyed. Your enemies will surround you and destroy you, and you will have nothing. Does it make sense to have them both sit down at a table and commit to peace? Commit to peace, prosperity, and progress. But don't send a man in there saying that he's the Messiah, saying he's the Messiah and he's going to destroy you. He's going to be a desolator. And then you make up some schmuck out of nowhere and say that he's the Messiah. You have no idea who the Messiah is. And when he comes, you will know him. And this man, this supposed Messiah that you bring in, will be of the same bloodline as Solomon, the tribe of Dan. And who was Dan in your tribes? Think. You'll have another come in, a Majid, they call him from the Arabic culture. And he will be an evil one. Think, Israel. Your nation, your nation's children depend on it. Your future as a nation, as a people, depend on it. You've been through too much already. And like I said, I'm just a simple man. Nobody. Dust of dust am I, and to dust of dust will I go. But I give you this message. Turn from your wicked ways and restore your faith in God. Bring your people together. Gather your children, your peoples from all over the world and become one nation again. And restore your people to God. Turn from your wicked ways. The leader, Netanyahu, and I'm talking straight to you, lead your people to righteousness and not to revenge. Consistency, not uncertainty. Be consistent and not uncertain. Be a people of faith in God. Yahweh, Elohim, Baruch haba Hashem Bahadonai. Understand what I'm saying to you. Restore your nation, restore your people back to God. That is what a leader does. God bless Israel. For if one does not bless Israel, he is cursed. So I bless Israel. And in the word it says, those who curse Israel will be in turn be cursed. And those who bless Israel will in turn be blessed. So America, listen to what I have said also. Do not curse Israel. Help Israel in these days. Do not cause derision. Be men of substance. Be God-fearing men. For the one above is watching. God bless Israel. God bless America. God bless all people in the Middle East. But turn from your wicked ways.